Hello everybody, this is Wheel Trouble, and this is Let's Play Abduction, Chapter 4 for me. When we left off last time, we had done quite a bit of reading. We learned about the species, the seeds, and the last clue that we had left off with while we were learning about where everyone was going is that the way to unlock the upper tower is hidden under the direction of the town's first mayor. The town's mayor list is showing just to the left here, and the first mayor's last name was Roscoe. So that's where we're actually going to start off, as we're going to look under the quote-unquote direction. Just so happens that you can find directions with a compass. So let's flip this over. DC. DC. I'm thinking we might want to try those license plates out. Let's go ahead and take a look and see if we've got one that's for District of Columbia. For those of you who are not in the U.S., District of Columbia is Washington, D.C., the nation's capital of the United States of America. And sure enough, we have one. And we're going to go ahead and run towards the entrance to the upper tower. There's going to be a little bit we need to do here along the way, though, just to make our lives a little bit simpler a little bit later on. As we established in the last episode, we're going to need to find a way to cross the bridge up top. So let's go ahead and adjust the router here. Flip around, flip the switch, and hopefully this will straighten out the bridge for us. And then finally, we're going to have to do some creative bouncing to get from one side of Hunrath to the other. In the comments of my last video, one viewer had commented that this is very similar to an escape room, and I tend to agree with that assessment. The whole escape room concept really does come down to clues and red herrings and things like that. Fortunately, this sort of game doesn't really have too many red herrings. They're more concerned with telling the story. There are some red herrings in this, one in particular that I am going to skip, but it's really not even a red herring. It is they call it the Enigma machine, and if you paid a certain level of crowdfunding for this game, they put you in the game somewhere. Of course, we've seen backer items throughout, but there's certain codes that people had their pictures put in, and then they were given the codes. Nobody else was. So with those codes, they could go in and view the pictures in the game. It was really kind of neat. That machine was built just for them. Fortunately, we can cross now, and to save us some time later, we're going to go ahead and kick this bridge down. Now we've got some handy-dandy stairs. Normally I'd stop and enjoy the view from the ledge, but there is so much to fit into this chapter that I'm just going to try to charge through it. This next section is going to take a little bit of explaining, so as we approach it, I am going to really surprise you younger guys with my knowledge of obsolete stuff. Here we have a rotary dial. And if you notice, like on your cell phone, if you have one of those old flip phones, again, showing my age here, they had numbers on them. So that license plate, I had to take the N and the H and translate those into the digits that would be on the rotary phone. If you want to see what those would be so that you can play this on your own and get the code right the first try, just go ahead and Google up rotary phone, and it'll show you no problem. And now we've activated the elevator. We can go up to the top, or we can go down to the other two floors, one being the basement, the other being the office. We're going to go ahead and go up and explore a little bit up here. We'll be coming up again eventually anyway. And this is probably the best view of Hunrath in the entire game from up here. And we'll just take our time to make sure we can absolutely get our bearings. Great gorgeous view of the tree, the mining village. Alright, let's get back to work. Next stop is going to be the basement. This would be where Yosef actually lived. Worksheet. Multi-purpose VLN control panel interface. This is the control panel that the VLNs have supplied for our use. Although they are able to control their systems via vocalizations, they have provided these control panels for other species to have limited access and control. If you have trouble, please find Noah for help. Remember, the VLN number system is base 4. Drag from one blob to another to form the VLN digits. Drag between blobs to disconnect. The standard panel has 5 digits, but single-digit panels are also used. Use only first digit to simulate a 1-digit panel, 0 to 3. All panels will have autocorrect for invalid entries. And below here you can see a few samples have already been done. If you wish to copy this during your own game and then run down to the other panel and try them out to see what digits they become, you're welcome to. It is a handy skill to have later. And what they're talking about with the base series is that you'll have 0, 1, 2, 3. Then in order to write 4, you would actually write 1, 0. And keep going that way. Similar to binary, but just add a couple digits. Alright, now that we're done with that little worksheet, let's go ahead and explore a little bit more. Here we can see another backer reward item. There was the bed there. Let's see what's in this chest. Clothing. Trumpet, and a phonograph. Let's see what his tastes of music were. Bathroom with an air freshener. Well, at least he has a bathroom. Rather somber piece there. I hope he has more in his little cabinet. We're going to need to get through that fence, so let's go ahead and wind this down. Voila! Let's run up and see what kind of damage we have just done here. I'm thinking the next best stop's going to be CW. Let's see if he has anything to say now that we've unlocked that tower. He might be able to point us in a direction to keep moving forward.
I don't get around easily. Greatly appreciate your help. But this will be complicated. Especially for a new arrival like yourself. Alright. That tree, the really big, strange one in the middle, well, shoot. It's a central piece that's connected to everything. The cell wall, the dome, them seeds, the root beneath it, all of it. It's one and the same, one connected essence. Sounds like a load of Buddhist malarkey. Farley would bust hearing me spout this. Yeah, I really don't get it. Regardless of what it sounds like, we need all of it to be, well, healthy. All of it. Shoot, I'll spell it out for you. You gotta get down below the tree. to the heart and connect it all back up. Oh, yeah. There's a cable up next to my big battery out there. If you haven't already, can you plug it in for me? It's one less thing for me. It's not the best time to be explaining this stuff. Now, where's the Jesse?
Where the Jesse? What? Whatever. So up top, there's a battery that needs reconnected. So let's go ahead and run up these stairs and get that all set up so that we can charge it. So the working theory here, in order to get us home, since that seems to be CW's project, is to use the tree as an amplifier, like the theory had said in the book from the last chapter. Battery capacitor log. Don't reverse the polarity. It's crossed out, new plug. 16,609. Work begins on new battery. 16,689. Power test, no focal panels. 16,692. First charging implemented. 16,722. 10% charged. 16,722. Focal test, 2 focal panels. 16,729. Efficiency changes implemented. 16,822. Measured 19% absorption, maximum. 16,831, 50% charged. 16,879, bleeder completed. 16,000, crossed out. New secure plug, critter proof. 16,920, 100% charged. 16,920, bleeder switched on. 16,932, topped off charge. 16,949, 6 focal panels built. 16,951, topped off charge. 16,975, topped off charge. 16,995, topped off charge. 17,016, topped off charge. 17,040, topped off charge. 17,041, all focal panels built. 17,060, topped off charge. 17,079, topped off charge. It's safe to assume that to make this tree healthy, it's going to need what we all need, water. So let's go ahead and see what's left in this tank that they pumped out. Oh look, you can even see it dribbling out. Wonderful. You know, in real life, I realize I'd be stuck here if I didn't help out, but I would be getting a serious bit of vertigo just walking across those rails. Go ahead and continue down the stairs, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to go to the base of the tree. It seems like a really good time to take care of that. Now to finally see what the hype about the base of the tree is all about. When we start entering the trees from the different planets, I'm going to be cutting the videos at this portion. This is a load screen section. As we go down during regular gameplay, because they're trying to load so much for the new section, they actually save your game at this point and everything else, and you'll actually see a little purple wheel on the right-hand corner signaling that it is saving and loading the next area. I'm going to skip that because really just sitting here waiting for a new area to load seems rather pointless. And here we are, the base of the tree. This really is rather spectacular. The bioluminescent water. Oh my. Right. Kansas is back that way. How am I able to breathe here? Somebody please explain this to me. Wow. Okay, so the water's still not getting to the roots. I still want to know why I can breathe in space. And the magic tree's not talking to me. My goodness. If we're to believe everything in the book, each one of those portals actually goes to one of the other worlds. One to Soria, the Mofang planet, one to Kaptar, and then one to Murray. But of course they use seeds to teleport, not these portals. Well, back to work. We need to get some water to the base of this tree. Flip the valve. There we go, now we're getting somewhere. Just trying to make sure I haven't missed any switches. And we have a little bit of voltage, not much, but at least it's not reading 0 anymore. And the tree root is glowing. I would love to know if there's any plants on Earth that can actually do that naturally. At any rate, let's get out of here, and I'll see you guys on the top side. Now that we have the tree connected, it's going to be a good idea to run back to Cecil and see if he has any other directions for us. That's the good thing about this game, is they don't typically leave you completely in the dark. They do leave some areas not fully explained, just so you get more time out of the game, but otherwise they do make sure that there's no surprises.
Making progress. It's nice not having to do all this myself. You can just keep connecting all the trees, all the roots. I gotta finish the plates around the tree. I'll get them connected to my battery. If you ain't already done so, I need that battery cable plugged in. Remember, everything connected.
Now it's going to be time to tidy up some loose ends before we start hunting for other trees. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to switch this water gate around to the other side completely. We do have other access points to the other side, so I'm not so much worried about losing this one anymore. This just makes it to where it's one less thing to do later on down the road. The next thing I'm going to have to do is make sure that I've blasted every single boulder out of the way that is possible to blast. And in order to do that, I need to remember where in the blue blazes I parked that cart. Think I remember. And away we go. The best part about having played this before is I know exactly which boulders need shot out of the way, and on the way here, I've only missed one. The unfortunate thing is I had to turn the cart all the way around to get up there. There is a perch up above the salvage yard. That's where we're headed. There's one set of boulders that you can barely reach with this, and we're going to get that blasted out of the way. We're not going to be using it till much later in the game, but getting it out of the way now means we don't have to mess with the cart too much more. I find it funny that they realized they had to build a turnstile, and they decided to put it up here. The frustrating part is, you can't get out up here. Not until you clear the building at any rate. Let's turn to the left. And this is where it's really fun. Just try to drive off the cliff, and they really did make it to where it takes work to die in this game. There is a way to die. I'm not going to go over that quite yet. And there we go. That's the last hole we needed to unplug in Hunrath. Now let's find a way out of here. These next sections are where the game gets its name. Merriam-Webster defines abduction as the act or instance of drawing or layering something over, as in covering. So what we're going to do is we're going to use these seeds, and remember how they mark a sphere around it? And then it bounces that entire sphere, all of the contents of that sphere, to the other planet that it's paired with? That's exactly what we're going to do. Essentially abducting one piece of a planet and pasting it over another. They switch. Oh, that's right, there's still one thing to do. I've got to kick down that little ramp so that I can get through here more freely. The good thing is there's one of those portals, as you can see from this really out-of-place sphere, right nearby, so it'll save us a little bit of time. Now we can get from the salvage yard to here quite freely. Let's go ahead and see how this little seed device works. Pull the lever. The sphere gets marked. So everything that's within this blue bubble is going to get taken and overwrite the area in the other world, wherever this other world happens to be. Definitely some interesting scenery. This is where we're going to go ahead and leave off. We'll go ahead and explore this area, see which one of the other 3 planets we've wound up getting teleported to. I'll see you guys next time in Chapter 5.